On this edition of inCycle, the master of Grand Tours, Matteo Tosatto.
Per me il Giro d'Italia è speciale perché ho avuto o la fortuna o non so, di vestire la maglia rosa, che è una delle sensazioni più belle della mia carriera.
We look back at some of the most memorable Giro d'Italia wins.
This showed me I can do it. This showed me I'm not over, and this showed me I can do for a long time.
But first, Michael Woods on his unique journey to the bike.
I used to be a runner, really good in high school, and I managed to get a full scholarship to the University of Michigan, which is known in the United States as being like the best running school.
Michael Woods goes, the former track and field star, the former middle distance runner turned cyclist.
But then through being a bit of a goof, and I ended up getting injured quite a bit. Eventually, I just was no longer able to run. That was devastating because I loved running. I thought I was going to be a professional runner. I thought I was going to go to the Olympics. I had all these big dreams, and those were crushed. And I spent about 4 years continually trying to come back and just working crappy jobs. I was a teller at a bank. I managed a running shoe store for a while. During that time, just in order to stay fit because I couldn't run, I started riding a bike.
The story of Michael Woods' journey to the bike is certainly a unique one. And inCycle had a chance to talk to the Canadian in 2017 at the Giro d'Italia, his second year as a pro and his first Grand Tour at the age of 30.
When I was 18, 19, 20, I really was super cocky and thought I was amazing. And when you're cocky and overconfident, you tend not to be able to absorb information properly from other people and take lessons properly. And that's what cost me my running career. But kind of being brought down to earth and having to work as a teller in a bank really helped me kind of learn fast in cycling. I've had some pretty cool results so far, but for sure it was winning a stage at Tour of Utah in 2015, and it was a crazy, like, out-of-body release because I risked so much in order to kind of pursue this dream of being a professional cyclist. All those risks and all the crashes seemed worth it because I knew I'd get a contract after that.
It was then Cannondale Pro Cycling, now EF Pro Cycling, who came knocking inquiring after Woods' services.
Right off the bat, last year they gave me a leadership role at Tour Down Under. And Jonathan Vaughters, who's the general manager of the team and the owner of the team, he signed me with the goal of, you know, making me a winner. But I still haven't won a stage here yet, so I really want to kind of really reward them for their faith in me.
– 2017 was a year of nearlies for Woods, but after that the results came pouring in. In 2018 he finished second in Liège-Bastogne-Liège, won a stage at the Vuelta and came in third at the Worlds. Last year he won the pre-Giro di Lombardia race, Milano-Torino.
Well, and the cream of world climbing behind him. Valverde tries to come across, and Adam Yates too with Thies Benoot swinging round the corner. Michael Woods it is, who's come out of the style, looks over his shoulder, and he can believe it now that he's done it.
Cycling's crazy mental, and so is running. I mean, running, you really have to deal with pain and suffering, and you have to be able to really compartmentalize things. I think I was able to really translate that into cycling, and I think that's one of the reasons why I had a lot of success. Manage pain and manage adversity well. So I think the mental side's just as important, if not more. You need to be able to lose, be angry, but then like forget about it. Because if you keep on thinking about it, it's going to be debilitating.
After suffering a big crash at Paris-Nice earlier this year and fracturing his femur, Woods is on the recovery yet again, having truly had a trial by fire into the cycling world.
As a runner, I took a lot of my experiences for granted, and when that was gone, I really missed it and really regretted not cherishing those moments as much and kind of taking them in. As a cyclist, although it can get a bit routine traveling all the time, I still make sure like every day just kind of sit back and think this is pretty cool. I think, yeah, like 1 year as a bike racer is probably worth 5 years lived.
When it came to Grand Tours, Matteo Tosatto was something of a master. To this day, no man in history has ridden as many as the Italian, with 34 to his name. Unsurprisingly, it's the Giro that meant the most to him. And in 2016, his 11th and final Giro d'Italia also coincided with his 42nd birthday.
È stato un bel giorno, tanti amici, tanti auguri, e mi ha fatto molto piacere, come tanti anni fa, fare al Giro d'Italia, perché il ciclismo, soprattutto il Giro d'Italia, è stata la mia vita e sicuramente ho scoperto ancora un anno in più che ho tantissimi amici in gruppo e quello mi rende fiero. Poi ieri sera siamo arrivati qui in hotel, con la mia squadra, abbiamo fatto la sorpresa di una torta, abbiamo festeggiato, non super festeggiamenti, però festeggiato in modo giusto. È arrivata anche la mia famiglia, la cosa più bella, e avanti, oggi è un altro giorno.
Tosatto's career is a great example of longevity. In his final racing years, with the legs less powerful, he was a rider that found a way, despite his age and subsequent limitations.
La vita da atleta, bisogna fare, quando si è giovani si ha la forza e questa basta, però quando si va avanti con l'età bisogna fare la vita da atleta al 100%, e per essere competitivi alla mia età ci vuole ancora più determinazione, più intelligenza, più tantissime cose, e soprattutto l'obiettivo di ben figurare, perché andare al Giro d'Italia e non stare bene, non fare quello che ti chiede la squadra è brutto e non è bello. Bisogna avere tanta concentrazione a casa durante la preparazione.
Part of Il Torso's longevity was his determination to compete at the Giro, and for 3 days in 2000 he wore the maglia rosa.
Per me il Giro d'Italia è speciale, perché ho avuto la fortuna, non so, di vestire la maglia rosa, che è una delle sensazioni più belle della mia carriera. Ho vinto una tappa al Giro d'Italia vicino a casa mia, a pochi chilometri, e poi il calore della gente italiana, la carovana rosa, e quando passa il Giro d'Italia le città, i paesi si fermano per noi, e questo è una cosa speciale. Il Giro d'Italia ha un'atmosfera familiare e è bellissimo vedere che ogni paese che si passa si colora di rosa, e questa è una cosa stupenda.
In his final Tour of Italy, riding for Tinkoff, Tosatto was responsible for guiding team leader Rafał Majka through 3 weeks of racing. By the end of his career and some 20 years as a professional, Tosatto was one of the most respected team captains on and off the bike.
Io in squadra cerco di sempre dare consigli, essendo più vecchio. E sono contento che in questo Giro d'Italia abbiamo tanti ragazzi giovani, ma i giovani adesso arrivano al professionismo già molto preparati, questo sicuramente, a differenza di una volta. Però la cosa più importante sulla corsa di 3 settimane è che i giovani devono imparare a sapersi gestire, sapere quando si deve dare il tutto per tutto e quando si deve mollare, perché c'è qualche tappa che non si è competitivi e anche se manca 10-15 km all'arrivo bisogna staccarsi e arrivare all'arrivo, così si recupera un po' prima. Queste sono le cose più importanti che magari vedo che mi chiedono e mi danno consigli.
After his 34th Grand Tour in 2016, Tosatto retired. And still his Grand Tour start record seems safe, with active riders Adam Hansen and Alejandro Valverde still some way off equaling the Italian's feat.
Perché mi sono sempre trovato bene andare forte sui grandi giri, su grandi squadre, ogni anno 2 grandi giri è molto impegnativo, però a me personalmente mi piace fare i grandi giri perché mi trovo proprio bene giorno per giorno. È duro, molto duro, mi ricordo tutti i grandi giri, ogni grande giro ha un ricordo bello e anche magari un ricordo meno bello, però nella mia testa ricordo non tutto ma quasi tutti i momenti belli, anche quelli brutti. C'è sempre qualche punto che ti ricordi sempre di più. Però sono tanti adesso, elencarli sarebbero troppo lungo, però i momenti belli sono sempre quelli quando vinci o aiuti a vincere il tuo compagno, come gli ultimi Giri d'Italia con Alberto Contador. Questi sono momenti bellissimi.
For many riders, having Giro d'Italia stage winner inscribed on their palmarès is a dream come true. Behind those wins is always a compelling story, not least the race to the line itself. Over the last 7 editions, there have been some eye-catching finales outside of the battle for pink. And now we look back at 6 memorable wins from the Giro d'Italia. Veteran Dutchman Peter Weening has always had a special eye for an opportunity. Case in point, Stage 9's finish in Sestola back in 2014. Part of the day's breakaway, and with a healthy lead over the pack, the Orica Green Edge rider accelerated on the lower slopes. Only Italian Davide Malacarne could follow, setting up a one-on-one tussle heading into the final kilometre.
They're cat-mousing with 600 metres to go, and Malacarne's having a look over his shoulder. They're going to start weaving over the road before you know it, Dan.
Yeah, no one wants to give the other one the slipstream on the wheel and give them the advantage in this sprint. I still give Malacarne the edge over Peter Weening, but they're almost coming to a standstill. We see this so often in breakaways. I don't think Pozzovivo's got any chance of catching them, but they'll, the longer they leave it, it still is 500 metres to go, Carlton.
We might have a track stand in a moment. 500 metres to go, 400 before you know it. They're still looking at each other. Nobody wants to offer up any kind of assistance to the other. I guess Weening, the taller of the two from Orica Green Edge here, will punch a bigger hole in the air and give Malacarne the better ride. Malacarne's being forced to stay there at the moment because Weening is refusing to take over. Meanwhile, Pozzovivo just keeps turning it. He's going to get at least 4 seconds bonus, plus whatever gap he throws up between himself and Cadel Evans, who's part of this group of GC contenders. Meanwhile, the stage victory is up for grabs, and Weening looks like he's winding himself up for an attack, and he's running out of metres to do it. Malacarne sits back down, and so does Weening.
Yeah, it's been
250 metres, beg your pardon.
250 go. Malacarne opened it up pretty early. Is that a sign of nerves?
Maybe
Peter
too early.
Weening is on the wheel. He's coming round.
He's gone round to the centre of the road. He's going to take the shortest route through, and Peter Weening, I think, has got this one wrapped up. 25 metres. Oh, another win for Orica Green Edge. Oh, unbelievable stuff.
A second Giro stage win in Weening's career, and with rumours of a return to the World Tour at the age of 39, perhaps not the last. While in recent years the Giro has largely spurned the notion of processional final stages, 2015's conclusion into Milan appeared on paper to be just that. However, with a number of tight bends in the finishing circuit, 2 riders spotted a chance as track specialist Ilio Kessa and time-trialling diesel Luke Durbridge slipped away with 30 kilometres to go. Heading into the last lap, the question was, could the pair hold off the charging lead-out trains behind them?
We knew that Kaiser would do this. He's a cold, cold killer at moments such as this. Why don't you come this side, says Durbo. He's trying some psycho games with him right now. And while this goes on, the pack are just coming. They're coming. You can see the long shot in a few moments' time. Kaiser checks behind himself. There it is. Kaiser's not interested just yet. 450 metres. They've got to be very careful right now. Where are they going to go for it? Still, they play cat and mouse. Durbo doesn't like it, but Kaiser is playing his own game, and you'd expect him to do so as everybody else starts to fire. This is Fanizzolo in the red skin suit. Still they go, and Durbo goes down now. Durbo hits it. He's on the cobbles. Can Kaiser stay with him? Kaiser suddenly finds it, tries to drift. Oh, and he takes the lead, does he? He's in front. Ilio Kaiser is going to take a stage of the Giro. Oh, that's magnificent.
I got Luke Durbridge as my partner in crime, and we work perfectly together. I've seen a lot from Cavendish, of course, how he does it, and so I had some experience from that, and I used it today to win.
An exemplary display of teamwork came from Ethics Quickstep in Pinerolo in 2016, as Moreno Moser and Gianluca Brambilla headed up the road behind Matteo Trentin. Heading into the final kilometre, it seemed the stage would come down to the duo. Trentin, though, had other ideas.
Under 1 kilometre they go, and now they will start to play cat and mouse. And yeah, well might Gianluca Brambilla look over his left shoulder to see what's happening on the road behind him, because they will be flying to try and close this gap. And a kilometre, when you start to finesse and think about outwitting your opponent, can last an awfully long time.
Well, who's going to be fastest coming into the sprint? That's the question that we're going to have answered in just about 500 metres time. Moser, who started his career winning pretty big bunch sprints, you'd have to favour him, but Brambilla's pretty fast in a small group as well. It's going to be down to who's got the freshest legs, I think, in the last 200 metres.
And Brambilla is sitting tight on the wheel of the bigger Italian, isn't he? He's just waiting to open up his sprint. Moser knows he's there, but Moser appears to be in control, and there is Matteo Trentin, as if from nowhere. What are they going to do about him, and what is Trentin going to do relative to Gianluca Brambilla? It's a fascinating situation here. Has Brambilla just going to sit tight and wait for Trentin to join that duo? And if he does, has Trentin got the firepower and the kick you would imagine he might have to get past both his teammate and Moreno Moser at the death? Just 200 metres to go now. Moser still on the front. Does he even know Trentin is there? Now he does, because Trentin opens up a sprint, and Trentin surely is going to take this win. 50 metres to go. Brambilla allowed him to do it. Moser, no chance of responding. What a brilliant win from a brilliant rider, Matteo Trentin.
By 2017, TJ Van Garderen's potential as a Grand Tour winner seemed to be coming to an end. A collapse on Blockhouse on stage 9 had critics questioning the BMC rider's abilities. With the GC pressure off, the then 28-year-old spent the rest of the Giro hunting for a stage victory. On a fearsome day on stage 18, that opportunity came as Van Garderen and Mikel Landa led a hair-raising descent towards the penultimate climb. Despite a group of GC favourites rapidly closing the gap behind, Van Garderen played it cool, taking a crucial inside line on the run into the finish. An emotional win for the American, and one that did a lot to answer the critics.
It's been a rough couple of years in Grand Tours as far as the classification is going, but I just, did my best to try to keep the morale high, and this is my first Grand Tour victory, so it's an incredible feeling.
Esteban Chaves had achieved a Giro podium place back in 2016, and 2 years later looked like a potential winner on the stage to Mount Etna. But the race would go downhill from there, and by the end of the Giro, Chaves was a regular member of the Gruppetto. After diagnosis with the Epstein-Barr virus, the Colombian wouldn't race again for nearly a year. However, by the end of the 2019 Giro, the 29-year-old was just starting to re-find his form. Among those in the breakaway on stage 19, and with a series of ferocious attacks, Chaves finally charged away. Back at his best, the trademark smile turned to a roar of relief at the finish line.
This show me I can do it. This show me I'm not over, and this show me I can do for a long, long time.
Breakaways at the Giro can often be characterised as games of cat and mouse with the peloton. No greater example than stage 18 last year, where they let escapees Nico Denz, Mirko Maestri and Damiano Cima dangle out at the front until the very last metre.
Just craning my neck to see out as the finish line is about to be arrived at by those riders. Inside the final kilometre, 800 metres remaining. Denz on the front, the Italians behind him. It's Maestri that freewheels, and nobody wants to take it up, and they can't afford to do this. They cannot afford to do this. They must ride it all the way, because look at the rate of the sprint behind as they wind up. Groupama FDJ, they're going for a dance around the road, and they can't do it. They want to time it to absolute perfection, but they're inside the final 500 metres now, and now it's the launch. Denz goes for glory. Can Maestri stay with him? Cima in his wake. He tries to get the gap. Maestri is fighting to stay in the wheel. Maestri is there waiting to launch. Denz it is. He goes for the long one. He's fired first. Maestri goes. Cima on the opposite side of the road. They're going to be swamped as Damar comes from behind. Damar launches. Ackerman on the left, and it looks like they're going to be caught in the run to the line, or are they? Cima has the gap. Cima to the line. Damiano Cima! Oh, he just about hangs on. Damiano Cima gets the victory.
Frustration for the sprinters, delight for Cima, and another memorable day at the Giro d'Italia. That's all for this edition. Until next time, keep up to date with us on social media.